going to start with an easy question. How do you come up with, compared to the rest, how do you come up with flavor combinations for your juices?
Okay, so flavor combinations, we tried a lot of them. It's basically my husband who is very good at all these trying and testing, and he's like the mad scientist in the house. So he tried a lot of, we actually one day, we just wanted to have sugarcane juice and there was nothing clean. We wanted a clean shop where you get nice sugarcane juice, but we didn't find a place like that. It was all on the roadside. So we decided, why not? We can, start a business out of this. So this is how we started this store, and we thought first let's try it at home. Not answering your question. You want to stop?
No, this is answering further questions as well.
So. All right. So yeah, so all the we wanted to make some healthy juices also. So we just tried a couple of mixture of all the juices, and whichever tasted good, we kept those flavors. And we even saw certain like which juice has to be matched with which juice. For example, carrot has to be matched with which ingredient. Even those things matter. So you have to do some kind of a research on that. And so some of the ingredients after juicing, they do get a little sour or bitter.
Okay.
So you have to do the right combination. And then we tried a lot for about 6 months. We tried all sorts of flavors, mixing everything, and whichever tasted good, and we released that.
Okay, so now you have a certain set of flavors and you plan to release any more?
Yes, we do, but not this year, maybe next year. Yeah. And obviously the seasonal, according to the season, we want to introduce those fruits.
Like recently you introduced
grape juice, correct. Yeah. So we tried even the muskmelon juice. It was not so tasty because it doesn't have a sweet taste. So we're planning to work on that, which combination works.
And also your basis is no sugar, so even if you
correct. We cannot add sugar. We need to add some honey, but again, honey drops down and the flavor doesn't come sometimes,
Yeah, and but the honey is natural. Natural sugar.
Correct. So that's why we add it in milkshakes, and it goes well with that.
Okay. Now, obviously, there are going to be some challenges when you move from a home business to a physical store. So, what were the challenges that you faced when you went to a physical store?
Have you ever tried the combination of pomegranate with grape?
No, that's a good combination. We should try it out. Yeah. So, there were a lot of challenges. Actually, we had more challenges at home because we had to run our house and cook, and we had to fulfill all the orders. We had more challenges here, but to open a store, the challenges that we faced were like we needed the right person, to work there, who can understand what we need. But luckily, we found the right guy. The first guy we hired is very good. He knows to do the combination and he knows exactly how we want.
So what was your criteria or your process for interviewing people?
Main thing is we want clean juices.
Okay.
Everything has to be washed because we opened in COVID, right?
Yeah.
So that was the main criteria. We need everything washed, spick and span, and even the fruits has to be very nicely clean. And you need to taste each fruit. Sometimes carrot will have certain, just at the tip, it has some kind of bitter taste. If you just put it in the juice, it will destroy the taste. So you need to taste each vegetable, hygiene, and that was it. Hygiene.
Okay.
Deliver clean juices.
It's definitely a big thing because in all of your Google reviews that I saw, hygiene was the main and the biggest thing that was commended.
Right. And one more thing I forgot. We wanted to be environmentally friendly. We didn't want any plastic. So that's why we used
the glass
bottles. Correct. So, and we take it back, like people return it.
So for your glass bottle exchange program, you have this thing where you give money for the glass bottles.
Correct.
So you have this thing on your website where you say you don't give credit. So you don't give like a credit. So like you have 100 credits and then you get a free bottle of juice.
Yeah, we didn't do that because it's a little more complicated. And initially we thought, we won't charge them for the per bottle. But people used to just take it and they wouldn't return it. They used to do whatever.
Yeah, they need an incentive
They need
sometimes
an
to give.
incentive. That's right. So
Basically, we just give them cash
Correct.
for giving us the bottle.
Sometimes credit is confusing for some people, and even we have to keep a
Keeping
record.
track of
We have to
credit
track
becomes
Keeping track,
everything.
yeah.
So this is easier. We just give them cash right away if they give it to us. So
Okay.
that's a good incentive for them to give it back.
Okay.
It's been better once we started this incentive.
So you wouldn't have wanted like if you give one bottle you get 10 credits per se, and then once you reach 100 credits you get like a free bottle of juice.
Yeah, that not everybody understands this.
Understands.
Yeah, so they get confused and
Then it's also
And-
hard for you to keep track.
correct.
Because people can also like and say, I had done this with this other employee, or I had done this when you were not there.
Correct.
You need a lot of systems in place to track that.
Yeah.
That's a difficult problem.
So that's why we said this is easiest.
Okay.
Right then and there, it's taken care of.
So what was your marketing strategy to market this to other people?
Marketing strategy, it was mainly through WhatsApp and social.
Okay.
That's it.
So
Social
WhatsApp and
marketing.
social media.
Yeah, social media. That's it.
Okay.
We also
That's
put
the
ads
main.
in
Then we
place.
started, after about 3 months. Yeah. Then we put an ad in the paper.
Okay.
So yeah, that was it.
After which did your sales increase?
Yes,
or-
it did.
Okay. Can I ask some financial questions here?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So when you started the business, what was your main goal like for per month? How much profit percentage would you want per month?
So I'll take that. So when we started the business, we didn't have a goal per se to make money.
Correct.
Okay.
The goal or objective of the store was to give positive employment to other people. And when I say positive employment, is basically you
I read your website. You wanted to give more employment opportunities.
more
as
employment,
well.
but good employment as well. Because right now, if you look at retail, people who work in retail world, they're not treated well. Like the hours are exorbitant, the conditions are not good. They don't get even a proper lunch break. There's no off days in the week. So we wanted to change that. We wanted to give them good salary so that they can have a good life. We give days off in the week. So Thursday our store is off.
Yeah, I've seen their
Yeah.
timings.
We close in the afternoon so that they can have a proper meal, they can take some rest. It also helps in their performance in the evening or the morning because they're fresh, they're much more mentally awake to the customer, so that helps. So that is a bigger goal for us, to give employment to a few people than to make money.
Okay.
So we didn't really have a financial objective. As long as the store is cash positive, we are happy with that.
As long as it's positive and enough to give the salaries.
Salary. We
Okay.
are not looking to make money out of it, as long as there is employment coming through it.
Okay. And how much are your expenses that you have to what are your overhead expenses of the new shop?
So typically it's about 30,000 for as rent
Okay.
for the store, and we pay almost the same amount as the labor charges.
Okay. That's so the timings people have. I had seen a few people complaining about it. That you don't give it in the afternoon when people would want a nice cool drink. So you had just said that you give your employees a break during this time for them to eat.
Yes.
So how do you handle media like this when
Look,
people give a bad
there are
review?
people. If you ask 10 people, you'll get 10 opinions. We want to do what is right for the employee as well. And people who want to have juice, they can get it before the store closes in the afternoon, or get it in the evening. We are only closed for 2 hours in the afternoon. That's all. So it's not a big gap.
Yeah.
So people who really want it can take it before the break or after the break. So it's not like mandatory that you need to have only at that particular time. Right? For us, the more important aspect is giving employees a break so that they can have their meal, they can have some relaxing time. That is much more important to us than to give a time.
Okay. So currently, how many employees do you
We
have?
two.
Okay.
Yeah.
So these two employees, do they work at separate timings or
No, they work parallel.
parallel? Okay. And your juice machines, how do you maintain them?
So Thursdays is when the store is closed. That is when we maintain it and do a deep clean. At the same time, every day evening, once the store closes, the machines undergo a deep cleaning. That's why the store closes earlier than other retail stores.
At around 8 p.m. I think.
8 to 8:30. Then the guys clean the shop for about an hour. That includes a lot of machine cleaning as well. Because again, when hygiene is important, you need to machine starts. Everything starts with the machine. So machine needs to be clean, and it takes a lot of time to do that. So that's the reason why we close it a little earlier, and every night the machines get cleaned. Thursdays they get deep cleaned.
So, just going to ask a question. So, your machines, if they suddenly break down in the middle of the day during work hours, what would your response be?
So there are two machines that we have. One is sugarcane machine and one is a cold press machine. The sugarcane machine, of course, it breaks down. There's not an alternative. It's expensive. Both are expensive machines. So as an alternative, we don't have a backup. It's a small entity. We cannot carry backup machines. Right?
Yeah.
The best we can do is call the technician. Luckily, both have local service centers and both provide 1 day turnaround. So if any machine breaks down, we can go and ask for service the same day. Hopefully, it's a small fix and it will get fixed for the next day.
Okay.
That's all we can do.
So do you actively read your comments, your reviews on your site, and do you try and better them?
Wherever possible, wherever is rational, we definitely do that. Obviously, customer is the king. You need to keep pace with the customer, and so wherever customer says, can this be changed? Can this be changed? Yes, and as long as it fits within our ethics and motto of the store, we'll definitely do that. For example, when people say, hey, can you have more options? When we give packages, can we blend more juices? We do that. If they want to change, we can do that. The packages are very customizable, so we can do that as well. So all that we do. Where things are not reasonable or things are not rational enough for us to change, we don't do that.
Like the employee hours.
Yeah, employee hours. We don't want to make them work from morning 8 to evening 8, 9, 10, whatever that is. That's 14 hours work, standing, no sitting. That's inhuman. So we will not change that. The rest, wherever it's reasonable, we definitely change.
Okay. Okay. So your subscription plans, how did you come up with them? Make a system.
So we took a look at what else is offered in the market. Before starting our juice, we were consuming juice from outside as well. So we know what is on offer, what works and what doesn't work. So when we consume a package from anyone else, we know, hey, this package, this thing works for me, this doesn't work for me. So we took all that in the picture, and then we decided, okay, this is how the package will be. So for example, our package, you can customize the time, the delivery date, the address. We're not very rigid with that. You can pause the subscription at any time. You can cancel it any time. You can change the juice at any time. So we do a lot of those things. So that is what went behind the packages.
Okay. So on an average, how many customers come to your store daily?
I would say about 50 odd. 30 to 50 is the average, I would say. It depends on the type of day and time of day.
Okay.
Weekends, of course, it's
Weekends are more, weekdays are less. So depends on.
And timings, when do people prefer to have juice?
Evenings are definitely more.
Okay.
Yeah, evenings is the biggest rush.
So your second half of the day, the 1
Second
p.m.
half
to
of
8
the
p.m.
day,
is...
the 4 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. is the more traffic period.
Yeah.
Mornings is when the package deliveries go.
Okay. So do one of your employees do it, or do you have like a Swiggy done?
No. So that's why we have two employees. One does both do the juicing. Once the juicing is done, one of the guys goes and delivers and comes, and the other guy stays at the store.
Okay. So thank you for your time. Those are all the questions I had.
Hope it helped.
Yeah, hope it helps.